On September 11, 2012, terrorists launched a surprise attack against a diplomatic compound in Libya. Former Army Ranger Chris Paronto on the scene in Benghazi, and during the battle for his life, he knows what saved it.
My name's Chris Paronto. Call sign was Tonto. I was in the U.S. Army. I was with the 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment.
Chris was one of 6 American security operators who fought terrorists that attacked the U.S. State Department and a nearby CIA annex in Benghazi, Libya. He says he and his team followed ideals that made them stronger, more disciplined, and more confident on the field. In his book, The Ranger Way, he shares how the principles that helped him succeed on the battlefield will also help you succeed in life.
Well, Chris Paronto joins us now, and we welcome you to the 700 Club.
Thanks, ma'am.
You know, I mentioned Benghazi, and that's such a tragic story. I'm sure it's hard for you to have to keep going back to that and back to that. At the same time, you say heroes only really die when people stop remembering. What do you want people to remember about those 13 hours?
You know, and then when you say tragic, I don't see Benghazi as being tragic now. It was portrayed that way within the media, especially during the election time.
Tragic loss of
tragic,
life.
of course, but so much heroism, so much honor, so much courage, and that's what people need to remember from Benghazi. It was the sacrifice of my teammates, which allowed over 30 people to live. That's remarkable. So I don't see it as a tragedy. I see it as just a way to learn about heroism and really see what the human spirit has, and that's courage. It's a bunch of courage.
Heroism and courage, that's sort of what the Ranger Creed is all about.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is the Ranger Creed for people who don't know?
For a Ranger Creed is something all Rangers say, and it's a mantra that we have that to live by a standard above and beyond, 100% and then some is part of it. You always being able to give your life for others.
You are one tough dude.
No.
I mean, I am reading this book and I'm going, whoo.
There's a fine line between being tough and being stupid. I cross that line quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do.
Let's just say, in compromised situations, I want to be on your team.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You say that one of the things we need to do to become leaders is to develop a game plan.
Sure.
Talk about the significance of that, and how did you learn to do that?
It's just really, it's another word for having goals. You have a goal in life, but realize that goal is never a straight path. It's always maneuvering. It's always
stay flexible.
and that's where I was able to pull in even that night within Benghazi, Libya. And people that read it will see flashbacks where I give something about a lesson and say, well, this is where it was applied, because it's a story that people know. When we left, the plan was to go straight there, get the ambassador, come straight back. Well, because of the delay, because of the stand down, we weren't able to do that, so our plan deviated. But having that final goal state was still allowed you some direction to get there. You're just going to have to adjust, what we call adjust fire, just adjust your way to it, but just continue to move forward towards that goal. As long as you keep moving forward, you're going to succeed.
And those surprise turns happen in life.
All the time.
All the time. I mean, I was so impressed with how you took the things that you learned as a Ranger and the experiences that you personally had.
Just personally.
And then brought it to a place where it really could affect all of our lives, where we could learn some things from this. Like you talk about never quitting.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, when I read some of the physical things you guys go through, I just thought, wow. I mean, what do you do when the mind and the body say, I can't do this anymore?
I put an example in there. I remember the first time that happened was my first time through basic training. People that read the book find out that I went through basic training. Twice, and Ranger Indoc twice, and Airborne School twice because of a mistake I made within the military the first time. But I remember the first time that I felt awful, and I went to your happy place. I thought of some place, and I thought of a field out in the middle of nowhere, and I live in Nebraska, out in the middle of Nebraska, and the grass growing, and I just went, and you go to your solemn place where the pain just kind of goes away. You accept the pain. You feel it. You accept that physical pain's easy to deal with. It's up here that you got to handle it. But that physical pain, and you go to that happy place and you feel it, and you're able to embrace it and deal with it. It's really not that hard.
But you were prepared too. I mean, you were somebody who you didn't wait until the moment needed you to be tough. I mean, you got tough ahead of time.
And I was very lucky. I have great parents, great mother and father that taught me about toughness, and a great grandfather and grandmother. And people that don't know this, my grandfather was a farmer. He was an illegal immigrant that got his citizenship, worked, and then he got his own farm. He taught us about hard work, and I saw him working on the farm every day. So I had a good upbringing to pull that from, which is in the book as well.
You had a really good attitude about.
My mom would say something different.
Yeah.
She might not tell you how to get at it.
All of us moms would say something different. However,
exactly.
You know, I want to talk a little bit about leadership, because if there was a sad failure to Benghazi, you'd have to say that it was the lack of leadership, of someone really calling what needed to be called. I just couldn't imagine your frustration with all your training and being told repeatedly you had to stand down.
You know, and then when we kept requesting support, and then we realized it wasn't coming, but how we dealt with that, myself and Boone, Dave Benton, who was up on the roof with me, who was a Marine sniper, recon guy, he'd worked with me for 10 years. We turned it into a joke. We really did. Hey, is anybody coming? No. And finally got to the point where he came up to me and I said, hey, is Spectre's coming? He goes, well, it was, but it's not now. And he came to me again. I said, well, is Domino's Pizza coming now? You turn it into those tragedies into, you've got to put it into humor. And that's a lot in the book too. Sometimes turning into humor is okay.
Then you talk in the book a lot about making the right choice. And you know, when there's a lack of leadership, sometimes the right choice can cost you, but you do it anyway.
And it did. It cost us our jobs. We did the right thing. But as long as you're doing the right thing, God will take care of you. I said that, and that's always go with God's law over man's law if you have to make that decision.
Tell me about your faith, because there's a place in that battle where you knew the only way to get to the strategic position that you needed to be in was to step right out into the middle of fire.
Yes.
You dropped to a knee. I mean, you should not be here right now.
No, but you have faith. And you also learn from your brothers in the past. When that happened, I thought of the Rangers that jumped into Panama. They jumped into an open airfield. We learn our Ranger history when we go to Ranger Battalion. And there was no cover for them, and the only way they got off that airfield was shooting their way off. And I thought God let me learn those things, so when that night came and that position came, I said, well, those guys did it. I'm a Ranger. I need to do the same thing. I learned from the past experience and the past toughness of the 75th Ranger Regiment. You
know, as I read your book, at the end of it, I thought, wow, how does somebody who has lived this kind of adventure, who's had this kind of adrenaline rush, come back to life? What do you do now? And
it's not easy, but I actually probably travel more than I should. I still am speaking constantly. I do represent some brands as far as I still work within the firearms community, the tactical community. I'm still an instructor at 88 Tactical in Omaha and in the Midwest, but I do miss it. And we'll see. Maybe next year, when all this calms down, maybe I'll go back. But it all depends, because we did lose our clearances when we told the truth from the CIA. They did fire us, and that's difficult to stomach.
I want to say it's a great book. It's a fascinating story, and I just want to say that it's worth the read because it's called The Ranger Way. But you'll find out that the Ranger Way can pay off for all of us. It really can.
Well said.
Yeah, you can find it in stores nationwide. It's called The Ranger Way. And Chris, we thank you for being with us.
Thank you again. God bless you.
Thank
you again, ma'am.
You too.